Hey, welcome on in, you rascals. Tobin here with you, and thank you for checking us out here. It means a lot to me. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. Also, check out the Tobin and Leroy show weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. now on the FM dial, 104.3 FM, WQAM. You guys can check us on out there. We're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Excellent. Now that we've gone over that, let me get to this. I'm really annoyed. Barry Jackson did a fantastic piece where he was talking to a scout. Love talking to a scout. You know, who doesn't love sidling up to a scout in an NBA game and being like, what you got on that guy? You know, what do you got on that guy? What do you think of that? What do you think of that guy? What do you think of that guy? And they'll give you, scouts love. Let me tell you about the scouts. Scouts love to talk. You know why? Because they're lonely at those games with no friends. Let me tell you, like, these scouts, you always just like, you kind of, you go down media row, right? Kind of peruse. You're like, and it doesn't, it'll say like it'll say such and such from this team, and you'd be like, oh, all right, they're here. What are they looking at, huh? What are they checking out? What are they trying to snoop around and check out? So, you kind of look at the board. You're like, who's here? So anyway, sometimes you run into these scouts. Well, anyway, Barry Jackson, he talked to a longtime scout, a veteran scout on the Miami Heat, and he delivered some news in this piece that I find really annoying. And I can't for the life of me figure it out why this has been the theme since this man has been drafted. But I am annoyed by it. And quite frankly, it's going to make me defend this kid till the death, unless we trade him for like Joker or something like that, or Anthony Edwards. But other than that, I am going to defend this kid to the death, okay? And I'm talking about our favorite ghost, Kasparas Jakuc ionis. And I just don't understand the amount of negative press this guy has gotten. 19 years old, played for Illinois, Lithuanian, and had a really rough start to his summer league. First of all, anybody watches the California Classic unless you're a maniac like me. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, couldn't shoot, was competing his ass off. Did everything that you want all these kids to do, especially guards, by the way. I mean, every guard that seems like they walk in this league is a turnstile and they don't play their ass off. This kid is anything but playing his ass off. But, we had the whole thing with Kevin O'Connor coming out here, and the only bad grade he gave out somehow was the Miami Heat's 20th pick for a guy that he had mocked higher in the draft. Figure that one out. But even he wasn't the only one. I even saw these bozos at Bleacher Report, right? The pseudo-experts. Shout out to Tony Fiorentino. And those guys were like, yeah, Kasparas Jakuc ionis got a D+. And I'm like, what did everybody else get? The lowest grade I saw from anybody else was a C-. Nobody ever had one game like Kasparas Jakuc ionis did when he opened up the Vegas Summer League. I can't figure it out for the life of me, dude, why everybody's getting on our favorite Lithuanian over here. So in this last piece on Barry Jackson's Scout Talk, he said, this is what the scout told Barry, quote, NBA people I talked to in Las Vegas were killing him. Didn't have anything nice to say about him. Quickness and shooting were my concern. Can he beat skilled NBA players off the dribble? He better be able to make shots. His play was disappointing, but I'm not ready to judge. He's very young, which, yeah, he is. All right. He's not 24 years old. It's not like he came over here and was like spent 4 years in college. This is a guy who, played in Spain, not exactly a slouch European league, and then comes over and plays in the Big Ten over here in college basketball on a team that had two NBA guys. The other guy, Will Riley, was essentially their sixth man. They go back-to-back in the first round. They thought Casper was going to go a lot higher. And I'm just trying to figure out, nobody has anything nice to say about him? Why? I just, because he didn't hit some threes? Do you guys see, let's be honest about this. Did you guys see the Summer League play? And I'm not just talking about the Miami Heat. I'm talking about the teams that they played. I'm not watching others. I think I watched a little Bronny James maybe, or a little Cooper Flagg. Wow, that's some bad basketball. It's horrendous what you can see. You don't have these vast expectations. Last year, notwithstanding, the Heat had it, and they really had a deep ass team of first-round pick, second-round pick, an NBA guy in Kasparas Jakuc ended up getting a contract. All of those two-way guys that they had, on top of some former first-round picks, G League veterans like Alondes Williams, and they were stacked. And you were like sitting here marveling at it because these guys really did have, like, if this guy wasn't on, another guy stepped up. If this guy wasn't on, another guy stepped up. For whatever reason, the Heat couldn't really find that through line. Mind you, by the way, one of the bigger stories was the Heat having more issues with their first-round pick from last year than what Jakuc ionis is bringing to the table. And I don't know what it is, but I'm getting annoyed by it. And I'm telling you, everybody right now, I'm saving receipts on everybody who's talked shit about Kasparas Jakuc ionis this entire summer because this guy's gotten the brunt of the credit. Maybe I'm sensitive to the Heat, but I've seen the grades on everybody else. And everybody, and just like this scout seemed to reveal, nobody has anything nice to say about him. Well, you don't want to know what I say? Okay. If you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. Unless it's about James Harden being better than Dwayne Wade. Then that's ridiculous. I mean, I'm going to have to roast you for that one. But all jokes aside, everybody who's doubting Kasparas Jakuc ionis, you're on notice with me. So, fine line. This scout, he also gave some thoughts on where the Heat are and where he believes them to be going into this year. And he says, let's start with who's better. I see 6 for sure. New York, Cleveland, Orlando, Atlanta, Detroit, Milwaukee, Philadelphia. So he gives you 7 teams. Philadelphia is better if they're healthy. All right, we'll scratch them off because they're not healthy. All right, everybody's saying like Joel Embiid might retire. Then you have Paul George has already got another knee surgery. So scratch them off, Mr. Scout. Milwaukee, okay. But every time that they lose 2 in a row, you don't think everybody's going to be eyeballing Giannis Antetokounmpo being like, I honestly think, this is my honest opinion from the outset of who I think you could say, chalk them up, they're going to be better than the Heat. I think Cleveland will have a better regular season than the Heat. They uppercutted the Heat, drop kicked them to hell. Cool. New York, obviously, they got their team, year 2 together. Mike Brown aside, unless there's just like a big tune out of Mike Brown, there's no reason that they shouldn't have a better record. I think Orlando, if you want to use an if healthy, it's Orlando because Paolo and them getting banged up, it really deterred their season. Suggs getting hurt deterred their season. So there's some question marks there. But, beware of the team you expect taking the big leap. It's a big ask. Honestly, the team that I think is going to take a leap and be better is going to be Detroit. That's the team, and I'm not like great at this, but I'm pretty good. I was like, people were buying the Orlando thing last year. I was like, I still think Indiana. But me personally, I think it's New York, Cleveland, Detroit. Those are the 3 teams. Atlanta's a little believe it when I see it. I like their roster. I think they made some cool moves. They obviously got some absolute tarantulas out there on defense. Jalen Johnson, if he's healthy, boom. Also have the drama that they're dealing with Trae Young, Kristaps Porzingis, another guy. It's like, can you trust that? I don't know. So I think they got a lot of wild cards too. But okay, look, I'm not here to say that the Heat are being disrespected. When you win 37 games and you add Norman Powell and that's, your big move, there's fair to have questions. I'm just saying, I think the 3 that I guarantee that I'm like, those I think are the 3 are New York, Cleveland, Detroit. Orlando, still got to see it, even with editing Desmond Bane. Atlanta, let's put it all together. Milwaukee, very dubious on them being awesome. So we'll see, though. I may be crazy. He adds it's a 500 team. If they won 45, it would be a great year. They're not bad, but they're not good. Chicago's mediocre. Teats maybe a little bit better than mediocre. They have 3 very good players in Bam, Tyler, and Powell. We'll see about where. Wiggins is meh at this point. Which, I think the thing that I would say about meh Andrew Wiggins is, and I was very hard on the Andrew Wiggins thing, okay? I was like, it doesn't seem like he wants to be on the Miami Heat. And I know he's kind of got that nonchalant body language anyway, but I'm just saying it just felt that way watching it. And, hopefully, and the Heat have kind of made this point, hey, they've put all rumors aside. We've heard that people were asking about him, but they didn't want to give him up for peanuts. So I do think adding Powell here is going to be a good thing for Andrew Wiggins too, because it's not like you're going to be like, go be Jimmy, you know? It's not going to be that. The Powell move was a very good move. He's coming off a career year. Shooting was very good. The strange part of his career is early on he was a defensive guy. His defense was not very good last year. Became more of an offensive player. Can he really be a two-way player? Even if he can't, he can put the ball in the basket, and they need scoring. I agree. I think that he is showing a capability about it. But they need punch, dude. I mean, like, I think the Heat got some defensive anchors on this team. You're Davion Mitchell, Bam Adebayo, Kala Ware, and then some of the guys that they got on the bench. I think it'll be okay. I think if Normal Powell is serviceable, I'll be happy with that. I'm not needing him to go be, Drew Holiday. I'm not. But we'll see. I am curious to see in this environment if he can find some of that. He did. You know what? I'm going to get made fun of. I'm not going to talk about what he did against Costa Rica. I'm not going to do it. He was Michael Jordan against Costa Rica. So yeah. Got some other stuff. Nothing new that you've heard on the backcourt fit. And then some stuff on Fontecchio that was pretty complimentary stuff on Fontecchio. But I do think that this scout is I think everything they brought was fair, other than the Jakuc ionis thing was really annoying to me. And I know he's not saying that. He's just telling you what he's hearing, but I don't like that he's hearing that. And I do think I actually genuinely think this is going to be an intriguing team. In spite of Tim Legler's boredom, I am intrigued. I think that there's a lot on the line this season. I think that there is a lot of pressure on this season because there's not going to be the throw everything on the bad guy Jimmy Butler excuse. You can't do it anymore. And so there's a lot of people who got some proving to do, and this may be kind of their last stand to do it. So I think that makes things all things very captivating. You didn't get a lot of Jovic mentions in there, dude. Jovic. It's okay. I'll allow a pass this time around.